Alright, well, a little brain dump, because I haven't had much time for videos. I have ideas I'd like to make videos about, but I don't have time. Yeah, I'm still working on my projects. I continue to be disgusted by America, and remember when I was a kid, as bad as the crimes of America have been, it's like things were a lot better. They were. I mean, it's like, are you just getting old, Puro, so it looks that way? No, it was better. There were less potholes in the street. Less buildings falling down, less deaths per hurricane. And when I was a kid, it was like, "Where are your papers?" That was a joke that the not so great stand-up comedians might tell. That was Nazis and the Russians. Of course, you didn't need your papers in the United States. Now we're just handing over our papers like, yeah, wish it was always that way. So what's left of America? That we can't even embrace ourselves as a penal colony anymore, basically. So I was also watching Napalm. What's it called? Napalm Phoenix now. He's closing that channel. Which in the sidebar, I think it was, linked me to somebody that had a clip of a Brett Keane live video, 4 hours long. I couldn't watch that shit. But it had Von Helton and Nick Bravo and a troll, a Von Helton troll that's also a Nick Bravo troll. And in this case, the troll, of course, comes out with the highest assumptions, right? If you don't know who she is, it's just automatically, oh, she trolls Von Helton. Nick Bravo can't be all bad. Probably not a safe assumption, but anyway, very interesting. I have to say, Brett's doing some interesting things there, trying to corner the crazy market. I mean, seriously. A live broadcast that with like 4 or 5 people where Brett comes across as the most sane, the most concerned about appearance, and I mean, it's just, I wish I had the time to watch a 4-hour video of that, but it was too boring. The clip I watched cut out some of a part that is, was very embarrassing to Nick Bravo, not that he would know. I've been reading the fuck out of the Game of Thrones series. It's Pulp Fiction, but it's pretty high quality. It's like a Robert Heinlein. It's like, it's done something pretty good with that. It's fairly fascinating. Sometimes I find, there's too much meat and mutton in there for me. That's why I don't read fantasy. But the character interplay, and one thing he does really interesting is one character does not really know what's going on. They have the wrong idea. And I find that interesting. He does a lot of clues and hints and foreshadowing, subtle foreshadowing into the next books where it's clear that, oh, he knew that was going to happen. That's nice after being screwed by Lost. Tats visit you when you sit on the rocks. Sadly, all I have around my house are some bushes and some rocks. There's no lawn, it's all rocks, because like 100-year-old man lived here before me. And I was going to put in a lawn, and part of it, and fence it, but subsequent events demotivated me. And so now, the cats lie on the rocks. Don't you, Nellie? Look what I do when I scratch your butt. Oh, she makes her crazy, cat. Oh, she'll bite you if you do it too long. Oh, she'll bite you. I love the tat. Nellie is her name. Love tat. Good tat. Did you get the attention you came for? Ooh, panther tat. Stealthy. I have an overflow of cats around here. What else is going on? Bradley Manning got 30 years. I saw a video by the Skeptical Heretic, is that his name? And it's funny because I saw, it was like a part 2 of a video he made against Ujama Flipper, or Slipper, or whatever. Skid Row Radio. And but it wasn't to him, it was to another guy who was defending him and so on and so forth. Now, I had seen the original video in question that was being criticized and then subsequently defended. And the fact is, Skeptical Heretic, you know, he had the facts behind him. But the gist is a little different, because Skid Row Radio may come out like whole hog pro, like Manning, pro WikiLeaks, and get his facts wrong. But the spirit of what he's saying isn't that wrong. So somebody like trying to nitpick him, Skid Row, is sort of missing the point. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should nitpick. He was wrong in certain things. Skid Row's interpretation of law, wrong. On the other hand, it's not like the U.S. government is interpreting the law correctly either. So, you know, they're overreaching it. So we're in a weird gray area, and this is one of those issues where you just want to come down and say, well, which is it, you know? Do you think these people should release this information? And I absolutely do, and I hope that Manning is able to appeal in 3 years and or get parole, you know, in 4 years or so. And I would say maybe that's fair, taking, you know, 8 years in jail, taking responsibility for what you did. I'd let him out right now just because we know of these crimes. And the real shame of the whole situation is that in that release of information, we learn of a lot of people's crimes, and none of them have been punished as far as I know. And as a matter of fact, as an American, you might wonder, why is the American government, you know, telling presidents to land their planes and breaking up the, you know, erasing, you know, raiding the Guardian to erase their hard drives? Why do they care so much? Obviously, nobody really cares, but that's just what an American might think. In reality, the world is very interested in this information, and there's a lot of information there, just as there was in the Manning information. Things that we watched on the news, if we watched news at all, for one day, you know, they stuck in the minds of, you know, the president of Ecuador and stuff, the ways we were treating and talking about them. My cigarette's out, but it was disgusting anyway. So what else beyond that? I don't know, I suppose that's it for a bit. We have this case here. Maybe the jury has actually decided this federal agent that was here for APEC that killed a local in a McDonald's. We're trying to figure out whether that's okay or not. Alright, well, back to programming. That's a relief compared to the world. It follows logical rules. It can be predicted. It's hard to predict, but it can be at least. At least it can be. And there's a bit of a slowdown because of certain things, but mostly I've kept going at it, but it's just, you know, I'm trying to bang down all the rough edges now, you know. Trying to quit. About the last month, about a week and a half ago, I went to the doctor and he suggested just go into the Shantix, or what is that stuff? So let's have an unsatisfying cigarette, shall we? You could still smoke on this thing. You increase the dose of the drug and you smoke less cigarettes. Hard to tell if it's working, except, you know, to quit me smoking, but they're definitely less satisfying. So I just end up being more bored. But making a video just to like do a general update, that's pretty, that's a trigger warning right there. Oh, well, I didn't want to get into that. What else? Things I've been thinking about. Well, that guy, Variablast, the Nigritarian, he called Cuirass a racist. I found that interesting. Cuirass saddens me because, I don't know, I have a sympathy. I tend to like him, but he's just being so inflammatory and stuff. It's like, I don't even think, I'm not saying it's not, or curious if you're watching Cuirass, I'm not saying it's not your views. I just say, you seem to, I think I made a comment to you to this effect recently. He's become a classical example of a reactionary. if it sounds politically correct, he's going to try to double down on it, you know. Whereas his own sympathies are more compassionate than that. So that's interesting. And that's why it's interesting to have Variablast speaking out against racism, when so much of what he's done has been misinterpreted as a kind of racism. That's never been my misinterpretation of him or interpretation.